Hey guys, and welcome back to Thrill Source. So today's video will be kind of a new concept that I'm working on. This concept is similar to construction updates, but it's called construction discussions. This will be a series I'll have on here and my personal channel, in which I will discuss the construction progress of a new coaster and share some facts about the coaster that not a lot of people know. I'll also discuss my personal thoughts on the coaster and how good it will be. So what better way to start out this series other than with the most anticipated new coaster of 2018, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Cedar Point is my home park, and I am beyond excited for this ride because RMC is one of my favorite manufacturers, and I am thrilled that an RMC creation is coming to my home park. I will be attending the Steel Vengeance first rider benefit in a few days from now. I think it's about 9 days, so I'll have another video on that later on. But this video I'm going to discuss the past few months of construction and just some overall thoughts on this ride. So let's just dive into it. Back in February, I attended Winter Chill Out at the park. This is an event that raises money for charity, and it's just an overall great event. You get to see what they do in the winter, you get to see what they're working on. It's just an overall fantastic event. And the highlight of this tour was by far seeing Steel Vengeance in its glory. And at Winter Chill Out, I learned some stuff that not a lot of people know of about this coaster. So I'm just going to list off some of those facts. First off, this coaster has been in development for about 3 years now. That's a pretty long time. It has been under construction since December 2016, so they've had to know about it for a while. Another fact is that this train can go as high as 205 feet and as low as 2 feet, so that's quite a range of height. This coaster is going to be really high and really low to the ground, which is exactly what I love. Another thing is that this park has been very quiet about how much this coaster cost. They haven't stated it yet, but I am sure that it is a large amount. Like this, if you've ever seen this coaster in person, this thing is absolutely massive. It is insanely large and probably very expensive. When you walk up to this coaster, there will be a test seat in front of the entrance for people to test to see if they'll be able to fit in the ride. And there will be no theming during the ride itself, but there will be theming in front of it in the plaza, on the sign, and some on the trains because each train is themed to the 3 different outlaws. Also, they are reusing the old Mean Streak station for this coaster, so if you've ridden Mean Streak, it's basically the same station. Those are just some facts, so let's just jump into the actual construction of this ride. After Winter Chill Out, they changed the track layout around and they added extra wood to it. They did this in order to make it sturdy enough so when the train goes around, it stays nice and sturdy, and it's just what they do in order to make sure that this coaster is running as amazing as possible. At Winter Chill Out, they already had installed the mid-course brake run brakes, so we got to see those. But since Winter Chill Out, they have installed the lift gearbox, the lift trough, and the lift chain for this coaster. Like I said earlier, all 3 trains have arrived on site, and all of which are themed to the 3 outlaws this coaster is themed off of. So that is Digger, Chess, and Blackjack. These are the new RMC trains, and they can also be found on Twisted Timbers and soon to be Twisted Cyclone. This ride started testing in late March, starting out with 1 cycle around the coaster to make sure everything was working. They do this to make sure that it doesn't crash or anything, and they don't put water dummies on it until they do this 1 cycle around just to make sure everything is working. And then after that, they added water dummies to the ride, and they ran it and tested it until it was fully ready and fully commissioned. During this testing phase, they worked on building the fencing and the main plaza for this ride. The fencing for this ride is a little bit different because it fits in with a Frontier theme, which is different from other fencing in the park, and the main plaza will feature the sign for the ride, which has a lot of rock work, and it'll have a Frontier Town theme. The first human riders rode this about a few weeks ago, and I'm not sure if Jason McClure and Tony Clark were the first human riders, but they were one of the first. We can assume that more people have ridden it since then, and according to Tony Clark's review on the blog on Cedar Point's website, it is the best coaster on the planet. In the past week or so, the signs for this coaster have been placed, and they look absolutely amazing. This coaster will be truly special. This coaster opens to the public on May 5th, but Media Day is on April 25th. The first rider benefit, which I will be attending, is on April 27th, and the pass holder preview event is spread out on 3 days, which are April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. So this ride is nearing completion. We're almost there, guys, after 3 years. We can expect that what they're doing right now is adding the finishing touches and just testing this ride non-stop. They're about to open this brand spanking new ride, so of course they're going to be testing, and they're probably making this ride look as amazing as possible. On a side note, this ride will have a fast lane plus queue line and an on-ride photo. There has been no word on station music yet, but what they said at Winter Chill Out is that they are still looking into that, and that is a possibility. Now that is all I have for the construction part, so let's move into the testing side of it. One of the major concerns of this coaster is that it will have pacing issues. Cedar Point released a few clips of the ride POV a few weeks ago, and it seemed rather slow, so people were very concerned that this thing would have pacing issues. Then, Cedar Point released a full POV rider cam video of this coaster, and it is hauling. I mean, this thing is insane. There have been a few videos matching the real POV to the animated POV, and the real one is slightly faster. Keep in mind that this is 40-degree Ohio weather, so it'll be smoking when it is summertime and 80 degrees. Also, a major concern with this coaster is that the mid-course brake run would affect the speed of the second half of the ride. And just like New Texas Giant, the mid-course brake run doesn't affect the speed of the ride at all, and it flies through the rest of the course. This ride is going to be truly special, and it is most likely going to be the best coaster at Cedar Point. Sorry, Maverick, you've been dethroned. So what are your thoughts on this coaster? Are you excited for this new edition? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Photos of this ride are owned by MrAmusement, and some selected photos and video clips are owned by Cedar Point. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a thrilling day.